Okay, so there are three component and one is the root component. And now I want to display the data of these all three component on one page in the sense the root page. Okay, so which is the root component? App root is the root component, and on this component I want to display the data of these all. So what we will do, we will take the selector of the each component. Suppose a student component selector we will take and we will pass here. We will keep on the which file, HTML or TS or CSS, on which file we will write the selector.
HTML, sir.
HTML file. So we will take, and where we will get the selector of this student component? On which file the selector is written?
Index file.
No.
Student. In
TS
component,
file.
sir.
Component,
TS file,
okay.
sir.
Dot TS file, correct. So on TS file, we will get the selector of that particular component. So we will take the selector of a student component and we will pass on the app root. Same thing we will do for the parent. We will take the selector of that and we will pass on the app root. Then next, we will take the selector of the teacher and we will pass on app root. Is it compulsory to pass all the selector on app root? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
compulsory? Okay, means why we are passing on app root? Because the app root is the, means you can tell like a parent and child like type, because that is on the parent level, on the top level. So that's why we are passing all the component, means all the selector on the parent level component itself. But it is not compulsory. Suppose that you want to make the intermediate, means you want to make the chaining link up. So on the parent, means on the app root you passed some selector. Via app root you passed one more component, means suppose this is your student component. Okay, and now on a student component you want to show the parent detail. Then what you will do, you will pass the component of a, which one, parent component, means a selector of the parent component. Suppose that then teacher component, if you want to show the teacher on the root main level itself, so you can pass a here. Means see, when you hitting any URL, suppose here what is the URL, w3school.com, means this is like app root, this is like a parent. But if you will select some tutorial HTML, what is the URL now? URL become HTML/default.aspx. Means what happened here? Now it's taken the another level. Correct. Now JavaScript. Then what is the URL? js/default.aspx. Same thing. Now I don't know whether it will come or not. Let's see. Try it yourself. So see, when we clicked try it yourself, what happened? After JS, this came. Means as like that, we by discussing here on app root, we want to display a student. Student, a student component, but each student have their separate parent. So I will not display on the app root. I will display the parent detail on this one. Correct or not? Means what we will do here, we will write the a student app dash a student. This become the selector. Correct or not? Here we will pass. Then on a student page, this is your HTML. And on HTML page, which is selector we will pass here? App dash parent. So now what happened? Parent become the part of the student component, because once you will hit the student component, then only you will get the parent detail. Because on main a student will load, then each student have their own parent, so the parent detail will load. This is known as the child component. Which is the parent component? Means root component. This is the main component. But here what are we doing? We are taking one component, that is a student component. Via student component, I calling the another component, that is parent component. So this become this student, this parent component, or this component. Sorry, let's remove this completely. App does root. This is one component. student, a student component. I will write just name. I not to write selector, and then parent component. Parent component. So if you passing the selector of this component here, selector of this component here, then is this parent child relation? Which one is the parent and which one is the child? Hello.
Parent approved.
Okay, and child?
Child is student component and parent component.
Correct. So both become the child, but this is not the correct scenario, because see this in the URL, what happened? First you got the JS, this become the parent, JavaScript. Inside JavaScript, you had done the try it yourself. Same thing, if you be going here, this is JavaScript, JS, and inside the JS, you getting default.aspx page. Means this will be comes under, this will comes under which section? JavaScript section. Suppose that here be doing comment. Okay, be going in the another tutorial. Say this. First is the JS, and then you getting the another JS underscore comments.aspx. That is another page. Means which one is the parent here? JS is the parent and JS comment.aspx, that is the child. Means via route itself, you can understand regarding on which page you will navigate and how you can go back to that particular page directly. Okay, suppose if I have to go here, math, what happened? When we triggered, your route get changed. This is known as the route. Okay, so what happened here? First JS came, and after the JS, that JS page is coming. Means via the name itself, you can understand that these all data is coming from the JavaScript parent. Means here one parent and having multiple child. Got it? This type multiple child. And if you have to refer any child, you will go to the parent. Means it will refer to the same parent, like this type it's going. And this one is the JS page. Suppose that this is your JS page, and this is your separate tutorial, whatever they are using, separate. These all tutorials they are making. So these are known as the parent and child relation. Like this type, we are creating the routes for the easy understanding. So here also we will do that type. Means first a student will refer, because if you have college or a school say, so a student will take the admission, not the parent will take admission. Correct. So a student will take admission via a student detail. Means when you clicking the link for the student detail, then only you will get the parent call. Means a parent detail. Means first if that way, if the URL, suppose that in URL, if we going to create the URL, suppose that abc.com. After this, what should be the URL? Tell me.
Approved.
Approot. No, approot is just like a main itself, not an issue.
So a student slash parent.
Yeah. So now we will take the URL like a student slash parent. Got it? Okay. This is one URL. And I taking another URL abc.com slash student, a student, and one more abc.com slash parent, parent. Which one is correct? Which one is not? Means which one is proper? Which one is not proper? three URL be written.
First,
Last one,
first
sir.
is
First one is correct. What?
Sir, second one is also correct.
Yeah,
Third
second
one
one
is
is
also correct.
also okay. Third one is also correct. Okay.
No, sir.
Then
Sir, first and second, sir.
Thank you.
we can easily understand that. Suppose here.
ये तीनों तो है means
One second.
सही है.
Wait. 1 second. Here, when we going in HTML section, what is the URL? HTML/default.asp. If we going on the HTML any page, suppose that image tag, check the URL, what it came. HTML/HTML_images.aspx means route got changed. Route URL is there, URL get changed. But HTML in all case, it is common. Means this case, if we will select any one, maybe HTML will be as usual. See, in this case, something came new, tags. Correct. So in this view, which one should be correct? Because if this is a student management application.
Then first one, sir.
Yeah.
It
So
is
first
correct.
one, okay, first one is correct. What about second?
Second one is correct,
If
sir.
you are in a student page, then second one correct. If you are in parent page, then first one correct.
Yeah, correct. So suppose that if you are on the parent page, parent detail page, okay, that time this first route URL will be correct.
Sir, but if we take parent direct after approved, then it will also confirm.
No, but see, okay, in your college, if they have to find out the parent detail, first they what they will do? They will directly go and log in, means they will directly go and search for the parent detail. Just imagine you are in the college and they have to search any detail regarding your parents. What they will do? How they will move in that section?
First take student detail.
First they will go to the student detail, then only they will enter in the parent detail. So same thing here also we are following. So that is the systematic hierarchy is that. Okay, so you have to go step by step. First you will take this step, then you will move next, like that type. So first here we will take the student detail. Sorry, if you have to get the student detail, then you will move directly a student detail. But if you want parent detail, in that case you can't take this one directly. You have to take this step. Clear?
Sir,
Okay.
based upon navigation
Yeah.
bar, that page is showing, no?
Yeah.
Based
Means
upon navigation bar. Then we will click on that navigation, but that page will redirect on the main page.
you're not going to click on navigation bar. Means whatever drop down section or wherever the link is there,
Yeah.
if you want, suppose you had you created one button here. Okay, and the button name itself is the parent detail. Okay, or a student detail. Only two possibility. Correct.
Yes.
Third will be again parent detail. No.
No.
Third,
No.
because same thing we going in getting in the first case, parent detail, student detail. Only two scenarios there. Okay, so in both scenario, if parent detail is there, you have to write the code like this type. Got it? Means internally you have to perform like this type of operation. If a student detail, you have to perform like this type of operation. Not like, means for first case, not like this. Got it? Means for the user perspective, they will click this button only. They don't know what is going internally, but you have to write a code like this way. Whatever approach you are following, that you have to follow, not the user side. Because now I had told that this is your URL. See, if I know that if I will remove this HTML dot image xpx, I know that I will go on the HTML page. Let's see where it going. It came on the HTML tutorial page. Correct. I know that if I will remove this HTML and I will put JS, I will easily go to the JS page because I know how they are creating the route. That's why. But if you will tell to any normal user, will they able to do like this? No, they will perform with the buttons only, whatever UI you are provided. Via this, they will move. Got it? So internally, you have to think like this type, that how you will create that route. Because via this URL itself, everybody will get the idea that in which page you are, in which database or in which group of section you are. That's why. Okay. So this is known as the child route actually. And this was the topic that we have to discuss. Child or nested component in the Angular. So this is the main scenario that how you will create. Okay. But before that, means same. This is again the same component itself. But before that, 1 second. Before that, we will do something. 1 second. What is this change event? Angular. Okay. Yeah. So what we will do, we have some component, home component.html. Okay. Let's run the application. Yeah. Close this port first. Okay. For right now, just we will look directly. This is home component, and on home component, what we had done here. Let me create one new component. That will fine. It will take time in loading that. G for generate, C for component, and student, student. I don't know how much time it will take to load. Okay. Meanwhile, just go through the documentation.
सर का साबुन स्लो है.
हाँ. Live boy है. Okay, so still what we was doing, we was taking the data, means we was taking the selector and we will pass. That's okay. But we was writing each line of code on the HTML page itself. Correct. But that is not good. Then what is the use of the TS page? Still we had not looked over the TS page. So that we will look now actually. Meanwhile, let's say run the application first. Okay,
Sir,
it's run.
CLI command क्या होता है?
What? Please speak in English. You are the TCS employee.
Sir, what the meaning of CLI command?
CLI. CLI,
Yes.
this one. This one itself we are telling CLI.
CLI.
Sir,
Full form.
installing Angular project, that type.
Yeah, that is full form is C for command line interface.
Okay.
CLI. COMMAND command line interface. On CLI itself, we are creating the Angular application. NGG component, PARE, and parent.
These all are CLI commands, right?
Yeah, whatever we are writing, all are CLI command. Okay. Okay. See, so some scenario we are writing here. After that, we will convert into the code. Suppose you have to, what thing we can take?
.ts file. We are going to write the some
TS file. Okay.
TS.
Okay. Go through that. Suppose some paragraph we will write. On which thing we can select paragraph? Anything? Who is texting this more? Okay, just a go like a student detail itself that there, no? That one, student. So here we will write a student. Okay, a student DETAILS, a student details. We will do some operation. Just that's it. A student details. Here we going to make one table. Okay, here we will pass the data. Some data we will pass. Anything more? Tell me while it's running the application. Okay, anyway, it got run. Okay, so this one completed. Yeah, so now come to the student detail. A student detail where I have to change this for running the application, that for running that page, a student detail, where I will modify. I not want this all detail. I want just a student page.
In app root.
Okay, what about
No,
others?
sorry, component.html.
App component
HTML,
dot
here only.
App component.
App component.html there.
App component dot html, correct?
Yeah, there you have to change.
Let's increase this one. Yeah, so app component dot html, we had written this all selector. Let's comment this all line. Comment completely. No issue. And now save. So loading. Yeah, it loaded. So we want the student detail here, correct? What we will do? What will be selector of that? So just to go to the selector, where we will get the selector. We will get the selector inside HTML page itself. So we will
Yes.
copy this. Now this one. Okay. Now save. Let's disconnect this page. Let's disconnect this also. I want just a student.html, a student.css, a student.ts. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So we got the student details. Whatever is written here, remove. And we had to make some format h1. And here I want to show a student details. Okay. Student details. Yeah. So we got here a student details. Now I have to display some table. Okay, regarding name, this, that, something. So make one table. One is creating table. How to create table? TD, TD or TH? First, first,
TH.
first,
T head.
first TH. Yeah. TH. After that, T head.
Sir, TR na sir.
T head, sir. After that, TR.
Sir, after
First,
TR first, then TH.
okay, TR, then TH,
TH. Yes.
then suppose name. Okay. Then again we will take TH, no? TR, name,
TH.
roll number. Okay. Let's say two field itself. That's enough. Then next T that
body.
TD,
T body.
TD, T body. Okay. Then
At the TR. TR.
TR,
TD.
TD, and the name.
Name.
Let's say pass one data here, RAHUL, Rahul. Then one more data.
Roll number.
Or number one. Let's say save. Yeah. Okay. I want one more row. What we will do? Just a copy paste. Got it. Now copy Rahul, remove Mohan.
Sohan. Sohan sir.
Gandhi.
SOHAN Sohan. Roll number 3.
Rohan.
ROHAN
Rohan.
Rohan. Roll number 4. HARAM. अपना नाम काहे नहीं बोल रहे हो सर? तो सोच रहे थे कोई बोले, लेकिन तुम्हारा कोई इज्जत ही नहीं दे रहा है. Okay, so and next, just add border. That's it. Where we will add a border. Border, border 2 pixel solid red.
कलर नहीं पास करने पे क्या होगा? बाय डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू लेता है ना वो.
हाँ. Okay. Now here we will write some paragraph. Tag. Page is containing, maybe a spelling mistake or not, I don't know. STUDENT student details. Let's save and do. Yeah. Okay. So what we got the output? We got the output. Page is containing a student detail, but we had written all line of code, means whatever is available on HTML, it is displaying on the where on the our UI. But I not want to pass all the data on our UI itself. Okay, from the UI, we will write some code on the TS. Means we can write the same line of code on TS or not.
Yes sir.
So here you can see that there is one template URL. There is one style URL. So we can write whatever HTML you had written here, same HTML we can pass on the TS page directly. Okay, let's say copy this, cut this all line. Otherwise, just a copy and comment and save. We have no any HTML now. But if you be going to write complete HTML on your TS page, what you have to do? You have to remove this page, because with the help of this one, you're going to link up. Correct. So let's comment this line. But in place of a template URL, you have to write here template. Okay. You have to write there template, and after that you have to use the backtick symbol, pass comma, backtick symbol, and pass the complete line of code, and let's see whether it's working or giving error. I don't know. So we got the output. Let's verify whether that is available in our on our HTML page also, or just on the TS page. So see, on HTML there is whatever line of code is written completely commented. Correct. So whatever is data is coming now, that is coming from the line number 6. That is inside the template. Okay, we are not passing inside the template URL. So by this both comparing, what conclusion we got? We got the conclusion that we can write our HTML on both page in the sense on our .html page also, and a .ts page also. TS page in the sense TypeScript. From now onwards, we will just speak like a TypeScript. Okay, so we can write on the TypeScript page also. Means it is not compulsory that we will write on HTML. So first thing. Second, whether we can use both things together same time or not. Means some code we will write on HTML, some line of code we can write on the TS. Can we do like this or not? What are you thinking?
Yes sir. We can do so.
Maybe it
Okay.
takes
Yes,
two
sir.
times executed.
2 time executed. Which one?
That's same thing.
Which one?
Yeah, you written that code. Sir.
Okay, means it will execute 2 times. Okay, let's uncomment this line of code. Fine. So what are you thinking? Output what will become? 2 time,
Not
1
showing.
time.
Not showing. Because
What?
template URL not pass.
Sir, uncomment
Yes.
template URL, sir.
Yeah. So we have to uncomment this template URL. Then only we are going to link up that page. Correct? So let's uncomment this line of code and let's see. What happened? It's loading or not? We got only one data. Means we not got the another data. But which one
सर
we not got?
चेंज करके थोड़ा देखिए ना
1 second. Yeah. So see, we will do one thing. We will write here something. Then we can easily get that from where the data is coming. .html. Let's save. We are getting from the .html here. Correct. Means we are not getting the second one. Why? Because first this one got executed. Maybe I don't know whether what is the reason. Just do one thing. Now cut this line, pass the second time, means after, and save. Let's see now what output. So again you got the same template URL itself. Means what conclusion we got? If you are using template URL and template, in both scenario we can write the code simultaneously. But if you executing one time itself, then you will get the preference of the template URL, not the template. This one is the conclusion. Okay. Second thing, whether we can write this type, means whatever we had written here HTML, is this good or not? Is
I think
this
it's not good sir
way of writing the code is good or not? So if
No.
not good, then what is the problem? If good, then what is the benefit or problem, whatever?
so because here id is not support id is not giving suggestions sir so
Which one ID?
id is sir
ID.
So
Editor
here
means,
the chance of getting mistake is higher,
oh,
and it will look hazy because it is lecture page.
yeah. Means see, now we have just like you can 10 or 15 line of code. So you can think that's okay. Anyway, we can write. But suppose just imagine when you working on the project and 500 line of code, then it become complete, means very difficult to handle the code because you will not get the suggestion here. Means IntelliJ support. Here we can write code. Suppose you want to write, you can write anything, correct? But let's try on that page also whether we can write here or not. I don't know. See, we getting something different suggestion. Means the editor also not supporting here. Means you will not get the support here. Second line of code, it become too much tedious when you going to manipulate something. Then it become very much complicated. That's why we will not write this one. But the way of writing is there. So what are the changes we have to do? So first changes we have to make this one. If you writing the HTML here, we have to change URL to template. Template URL, we have to write just a template. URL is not required. After that, we have to use the backtick symbol, not the single quote. Because by default, this was single quote. Single or double, you can take anything. But here, when you're writing the HTML completely, we have to change the backtick symbol. Second demerit, HTML editor is not going to support this one. Means we will not get the IntelliJ support. Okay, so it become very much complicated or difficult to predict the code. Okay, in interview they are asking, we can write HTML or CSS on that page or not. So you can tell like this. Okay, means if we can't write, means what you realize that on TS page This is not for the HTML purpose and CSS purpose. CSS and HTML we will write on their page. Means HTML.html, CSS.css. Clear? Anyone having any issue? Tell me. Means you have to know the merit or demerit. Whatever is there, you have to be clear. Clear or having any doubt? Anyone?
Sir, yes.
Clear? Okay. Fine. Next thing. We will learn this topic next also, but now also I can show something. Suppose here we had written the student detail, but I not want to write a student detail here. Okay. I want to take this data from somewhere. Means just imagine from the database. Why? Suppose that this is just one table, correct? Suppose this table, whatever data they are containing, suppose tomorrow the same table, design, format, everything you want, but data will be changed. Okay, means in that scenario you can use the same page, but the data will change. Data will change how? If the data is coming from the dynamic, if that data is not hard coded, then only you can reuse that page. So in that scenario, we will take the data from the somewhere in the sense, we will take the data from the TypeScript page. TypeScript means whatever we are writing the JavaScript on that basis itself. So how we can get the data? So we will check just one line of code. Here we was getting what was written a student detail. Correct. We was using a student detail, but we not want a student details to be available here because maybe tomorrow the same table is for the parent detail. So I not want this one data to be hard coded. What we will do, we will take that whatever value you want. CSS already everybody know. Anyone having any issue in CSS page also?
No, sir.
No, means as like class ID tag, whatever you are writing, you will write the same thing here also. There is no any issue. Okay. Okay, so here I want to display the student detail. Now you can't able to get on the top a student detail, correct? But I want to display that data. Write that data on the TypeScript. So one thing, when you writing the data on the TypeScript, you have to do all the task inside your class. This is your class because class name is there. Okay, you not have to worry regarding this or what is written or whatever code is written inside this. You not have to worry now. Just but you have to write all the things inside your class. Okay, so here we going to write and for variable declarations means when you're going to declare the variable or these things. So variable declaration always we will do on the top. Top means inside the class, but inside the class itself on the top level. Means whatever code is written there, we will declare the variable before this all things. Means you can tell here. Got it? Means on the top itself, we will declare the variable. So we had taken one value from that page. A student detail. This is your a string, correct? So we will declare one variable. How to declare the variable on the Java in the JavaScript?
Let
Let
variable name
means just
equal
you
to
can write a page detail or something. Just write.
std.
Okay. Sorry. DETAIL. Okay. And equal to. Correct or not? But now see. Same thing we was writing in the JavaScript case. It was working fine. But when we writing same line of code in our TypeScript, it start giving you error. Correct. Now put the cursor, look over that error. What is the error? Unexpected token, a constructor, method, accessor, or property was expected. Same thing, maybe, I think you forget or what. When we was studying class, okay, inside class, if we was writing anything, we have to write inside the constructor. That time we was writing inside the constructor or method, something like that. We can't write anything outside. Maybe I don't know whether you are means that is in your mind or not. We was not writing there also. Same thing we are following here because this is the class. Inside the class you are writing. If same line of code, if you will write outside the class, maybe it will not give you any error. Got it? there is no any error. But if you will write same line of code inside the class, you will get the error, because this should be available inside the method or constructor or your own custom defined method, whatever we are creating, like that way. But here also we can write remove this let, it will work. Means there is no need to declaration here, then it will work fine. Got it? So which is the variable? Variable is a student detail. Okay, copy this and first save. Now we had declared the variable where? On our TS page, TypeScript means JavaScript or TypeScript, on that page. So we have to take this value from here and pass to our HTML page. So how we can do? Same thing if we was doing in the JavaScript case, data from the HTML to JavaScript, how we was getting, or how we was passing the data from the JavaScript to HTML?
Using ID, sir.
ID,
using ID
correct?
class.
Means if we want JavaScript to HTML, how we was doing? JS to HTML,
Using ID, sir.
ID, and then we was passing dot value equal to something, correct or not?
Yes.
We was doing this. If suppose same scenario, but HTML to JS, how we was passing? HTML to JS. Then we were taking document dot get element by ID,
Yes.
correct or not? We were doing that ID means
by
it was
prompt,
same. What?
prompt function, sir, the HTML to JS.
Prompt function.
No, sir, no, sorry. JS HTML.
ID, sir.
ID से
Pardeep, where
भैया
you are?
भैया दो ऑफर लेटर लेके पगला गए।
मैं सोच रहा था वही जो सर पूछे ना वही सोच रहा
आप
था
20 लाख चाहिए आपको ना एक बार में, इसलिए आप सोच रहे हैं कि दोनों पैकेज को मर्ज कैसे करें।
तो धर्मेंद्र हो तो गया ना, एक डे शिफ्ट एक नाइट शिफ्ट, दिक्कत क्या है?
अच्छा
हाँ सर
और
30
सर
30
प्रसाद स्टोर भी है ना सर।
या देख लीजिए, कुछ बहुत दिन जीना है अभी, इतना ही दिन में मत कमा लीजिए पूरा।
Okay, ठीक है. Okay, so what we done? We had written one variable. We want to take this data on our HTML page. What we will do? There are two ways of taking the data from the TS page to HTML or HTML to TS. Means TS to HTML, HTML to TS. Okay, means if you had written data on the TS page, you can get that, means you can take that on HTML. If you had written on HTML, you can take on the TS page. Means you can manipulate in any way. There is no restriction that you can't take the data from this to this, that to that. Not like that. Means you can take the data from any page to anywhere. Okay. So what we will do? The name is interpolation. And same thing I think when we had used this word, I think in CSS or JavaScript, I think. Okay, so whatever variable name is there, we will take and we will pass here. But is this will work? What are you thinking?
No, sir.
What we will get output? On the UI,
Page
what
detail.
output we will get?
Page detail.
Page detail, because this is just a plain HTML. Nothing we had done. Let's verify. Page detail we got, but this is not the page detail. This is my variable section, correct? So just cut this one, pass the interpolation. This is known as the interpolation. Okay, had we used this word somewhere or not? In CSS I had used, I think in CSS or JS somewhere. This is known as the interpolation, means double flower bracket, double curly braces. This is known as interpolation, and inside this you have to pass the variable. Okay, so whatever variable you want, you can pass. Now we had written the page detail. Now what should be the output?
Student.
What? So
Page
we had
detail.
written here a student detail. So what you thinking the output? A student
Yes.
page detail or a student detail or something? What?
So a student
Maybe.
detail.
Student detail.
Okay, let's see. So we had written the variable name, and what output we are getting? We got the output a student detail. From where we got? We got from the TS page. Correct. So this way we can pass the data from the TypeScript to HTML page. Okay, and the word this is known as the interpolation. Okay, the way of passing the data from the TS page to HTML, this is known as the interpolation. Suppose you had making one array. Okay, student data equal to make array and object name MOHAN Mohan comma.
सर ये नेम में डायरेक्ट वो कोटेशन के अंदर क्यों डाल रहे हैं सर?
की है ना, की एंड वैल्यू।
सर तो की सर कोटेशन के अंदर थोड़ी होता है, वो तो डायरेक्ट भी लिखा जा सकता है।
स्ट्रिंग है ना, लिख सकते हैं, कोई सुने वो भी काम करेगा। Remove this is not an issue. In a string case, I think it will give error. No, it's working fine. Or it will automatic take the quotation, not an issue. If you will not give no, automatic it will wrap inside that. Both are fine actually. Okay, so what we had written, we written the student data and then we written the name and then roll number, something. Now I want to take this data on our UI, means on our HTML. How we can take? We will use the same process, interpolation, but I don't know whether we will get the data or not. The name student data. Let's pass, save. What we got? We got object because that is object. Now take this, then dot and a name. I don't know whether it will come or not. Let's see. We will not get the data because that is
Sir,
object. Remove this array. You will get
yeah,
the
sir,
data.
because we target first array element, no, index wise, sir. First of all, pass index dot name.
While looping, we will get the data. That we will do.
So,
Okay.
so here we,
So yeah.
so we also do a student and big bracket and pass 0 dot name, sir. We can get now.
Yeah. By that also we can. Yeah, that's also no issue. Okay. So see on the UI, what I got? We got the Mohan. Where is the data? Data is written on the means a TS page, and we getting on the data on our HTML. Correct. Go by that also. Make array.
So, whatever we write inside the console, we can directly write on the device
Yeah.
for the data printing.
0 dot name. Now we will get, yeah. So see, in the JS time also we were doing the same type like a student. Then we have to pass the index and then dot key value. Now there is another one more data like a roll number. Correct. So we will just pass this also there. Then what we will do? We will copy this. We will paste. We will pass roll and save. And let's see whether we getting the data or not. So data is there, Mohan and 25. Means I want this data in this place. 1 second. I want that data in this place. In the case of the Rahul, what we will do? We will cut this line. We will pass here. Let's save. Let's save and see. So see here, we got Mohan and 25 because this data available Mohan and 25. So if you want multiple data, what you will do? You will create this object, correct or not? And now
Yes.
this become the multiple data. And now you have to access that data one by one. That is 0. Then here you will pass 1, then 2, then 3. Like that way you can access the data. But for right now, we don't know much more. That's why we will access the data like this way. After some days, we will study the looping. That time we will not do that much. Okay, then automatic your line of code will reduced. But for right now, just we know only one concept. That is, what is this one? What is known as
Interpolation.
interpolation. Okay, so that's why we will play with this only. Okay, we will not use more anything extra, but we will do the interpolation. We will access the data. Now you can do a lot of things with the help of this only, because we had done the array, correct, and then we can do the same thing via here also. Means suppose we already know how to loop, means ng for or for each. So you can pass the data to there, it will create. Got it? Suppose, and now if you have to write anything, means anything in the sense, if you have to loop, this is your array, and if you have to loop over this, how you will loop? So just make one function right inside. Okay, right here itself. So how we will create the function? Previously, we by doing up to here. Anyone having issue? First, let me confirm. In interpolation case, what we done? We had taken the data on our UI, means on the TS page, and this we going to access where on HTML. How we was accessing? We was accessing with the help of the variable name, and we was passing inside the interpolation. This is the process of accessing the data from the TypeScript page to the HTML page. Anyone having issue? Tell me. And whatever we are writing this one, these all are the concept of the JS itself. How to get the data, how to access data in the array and object. And this is the object format. And this is inside the array. Means object, whatever the data are inside the that array. So if we want to get the data in the console, how we can print? If we want to print this all data in the console, how we can get? So we will write inside the constructor. For right now, we will write inside the constructor. Later we will say something more also. So we will write just a console.log, and who have the data? A student data, stu. Just start writing a student data. You will automatically get here this dot student data, because you are referring to that part. This in JavaScript we had written, we was writing there, but we not getting that much more clarity. But here you will get more, a lot of clarity, because here we will use a lot of time that this keyword. Now look over in the console whether we got the data or not. So see, we got the array having the 5 data, and see that all having Mohan, because we had written that itself, all having Mohan. Clear? So this type we can write the data, we can check in the console whether data is coming or not. Then we can pass the data on the HTML page. If you want, you can loop also. Same thing, it's not an issue. Whatever we know, for each, suppose that you can create the data. Where is the array? What is the name of the array? So array is a student detail, means a student data, sorry, a student data. Then we will write here value. This is your callback. And here we will write console.log and value. Comment this line, I don't want this one. And let's save. What you getting, just see whether we getting anything or not. So see, it means it gone and iterate all the data, and it passing in the console.log. One thing I had seen, console.table, is that working? I don't know how the data will come in this case. Yeah, this was the thing.
Table for
It will come in the tabular format, like name and value. It's showing that na proper. I had seen this thing on the LinkedIn. You're writing console.log, you will get the data in the log, means there itself. But if you're writing here console.table, you will got data in the tabular form. Okay.
And sir, one thing
Yeah.
also here, document dot query. Showing
Document
the
dot. Okay. I think that is for the query purpose. Means like a search, delete. This means get, find. For those type of query, you can use that. But here also, I think it will work. Document dot query. Where is the er? Which type will you write?
document
Document
dot
dot
write.
selector होता है.
document dot
Write होता है.
write. That is another thing.
Query selector होता है ना sir.
I forget actually. Yeah, query. It's come.
सर ये सब डॉम सेक्शन में होता है सर, मैंने कहा तो देखा है, क्लास होता है, आईडी होता है.
Yeah. In DOM, it's available. In DOM, there are much and means a lot of things are available. Okay. Whenever you getting time now, please just read those all. Means it will be helpful too much. And sometime in interviewer also they are asking, but we can't cover those all because otherwise 6 months it will go JavaScript only. Okay, so by this way we can iterate the data, we can pass the data on our UI. Means whatever work we was doing in the that JavaScript, we can do all the concept whatever we had studied. Still we can do and use all the concept in our TypeScript. But suppose you have to create one function. Suppose whatever we are writing here, okay, I not want to write here, I want to create one function. Suppose that my function name is get details, get details. So okay, sorry, means function, create that function GET get details. Again we got the error. What is the reason? Put the cursor. What it giving? Unexpected token, a constructor, method, accessor, or something is written, or getter setter maybe was expected. Is that it expect means it want or it accepting that like a function here?
No sir.
Where is the keyword? Yeah. So it want method, either accessor or property. Correct. Was expected. Means inside the class, again one thing came, inside the class you can't write the function keyword.
So when
Got
we
it?
remove function, it works sir, right? Like a
It,
sir.
what is now? What is now? What is this one
Right.
now?
Function
What?
sir.
No, this is not function.
No.
This is a method.
Annotation.
No, not annotation. This is a method. Correct or not?
Yeah sir.
Means when you not writing the function keyword, that become the method. If you adding the function keyword, that become the function. In JavaScript itself, we had written. See, whatever we are writing here, it's not a single percent new. Means in the TypeScript, whatever we are writing, it's not new. Everything we had studied in JavaScript. That's why we had to spend a lot of time on the JavaScript. Okay, because I know that that is the base. That's why. Okay, so inside the class, we can't write function. We can write the method. So method and function, whatever operation you going to do inside the math function, same thing you can do inside the method. Correct. So let's declare our for each loop. Cut this line. Why we will write this much? Okay. So now we have one function, means one method, that is get detail. how to call this get detail. Let's see whether it's a calling or not. No, we not get the output. How to call the method?
Using method name, sir.
Just method name. Nothing we have to do new keyword and these all things. As like function. Right here. Let's see. We again got the error. What is the error? Let's see. So see, whatever error we are getting error due to the class name, due to the class. Because now we are working inside the class. Previously, we had worked inside just a simple file. When we had studied the class, that time we had worked inside the class, that how we can create the class, how we can call with the help of new keyword and those all things. Okay. So these all error, whatever we are getting not due to type a script. Okay, be clear. We are getting all error due to the class because we are playing all the things inside the class now. So we can't write anything outside, means variable declaration. Previously on the variable declaration we had got error. So these all things we can't do outside. So where we will call? So this we can call. Who will we load first in this line of code? In
Constructor.
Java, yeah, constructor. Because in JavaScript we had seen that a constructor will load automate, means it will load first, and who will help him in loading? Will someone called him or it will get auto call?
Auto call, sir. When we create object using class name, sir.
Yeah. So constructor be not going to call, it will get auto call. Okay. So if it get auto call means we can do one thing. Suppose in exam, what we are doing, if we don't know answer, but if my friends are having that proper concept, we are thinking, okay, anyway, we will pass with the help of that. So same thing we will do here. We can't able to call, means if we are writing this method call outside, we can't able to call. So what we will do, we will pass this inside the constructor. When constructor will get call, this will also get call. But again, we got the error. Put the cursor. Let's see what error you getting. Put this, see, put the cursor. If you got anything, that's okay. What you getting there? Read the error line completely. No idea.
सर दिस डॉट बोल रहा है लगाने के लिए.
Okay. So
Can't
it's
find name.
okay. After that,
Instance member. So this dot get details.
can't find name, get details. Fine. Did you mean the instance name, instance member, this dot get detail? Yes, because we are referring this one. Correct. So we have to write here this dot.
This
So
dot
don't,
indicates it.
if you not want to write, no issue. Just press this blue color balloon. It will automatic add there. Okay. But suppose we have dot, whether it's or not, we can verify. We can press the control button and press the cursor and click the mouse. Where it highlighting? It highlighted line number 43. Means that's a correct. Okay. So suppose next, if you not want to write, remove that. Just manually type that. Get detail. Press enter. Fine. And now pass the parenthesis or whatever. Let's run the code and let's see whether we getting output or not. What happened? We got the output. We got. What is the line number? Line number 45. Correct. See that. Line number 45. Who called? Constructor called. Correct or not? So I want to write here one console.log. Constructor called. Means if this line will get execute first, then second method called, then we will get there. So what happened? First constructor get called. After that, this method get called. And then we got all the loop. Clear? Anyone having any doubt? Tell me. So what we discussed, okay, so what we discussed here, how to pass the data from the TypeScript to HTML page, how to bind the data on the HTML page, okay, with the help of interpolation, how to bind the data. Then second, how to create the different type of the data format. We already know this, array or object, whatever different format. How to create the function, means previously we know the function. So how to create the function? So the function we can't create. We can create the method inside the class. Correct. And method is nothing, whatever keyword we was using for creating the function keyword, we have to just remove that keyword and we have to keep the function name as usual. And whatever operation we was doing, we have to do. Method call. So method call, it's the same like method name, means function call we were doing with the help of the function name. So method call we will do with the help of the method name. And we are writing that this because we are referring from that class. That's why we are writing this keyword. Okay. Whatever we had studied regarding this in the JavaScript, same thing. If this means if method is available in the class level or some variable or something, then it will refer method. Means this keyword method, first it will refer to the method, then it will refer to the class, then globally, like that some hierarchy is there. It will search that particular where that is available, like that type. Okay, so this way we can manipulate the data, we can pass the different type of the data, then we can do all whatever we know, for each, for, while, if, this, that, whatever we know, we can do. Means not only HTML or TypeScript or this, we can pass the CSS also, same type. In JavaScript also we can do. We was doing that. Same type we can pass the HTML, say we can write, we can pass the CSS also here. Okay. Then what is the difference between a template URL and a template? Same type, a style URL and a style. Okay, a style URL, and second thing is the a style. This thing. Sorry. Oh, sorry. It will take a bit backtick symbol itself. Why this error came? Oh, that is square bracket. I don't know. Yeah, square bracket. Fine. So one question. What is the question? Template and this thing, put comma. What is this all known as?
Metadata.
Metadata, correct. Previously we had seen only 3 metadata, like selector was one metadata, then template URL, then style URL.
Style
Means
URL.
previously we had seen only 3 metadata, but now we can tell that another different type of the metadata. Another metadata is template, another metadata is the styles, then another metadata is preserve white space. Okay, here you can pass true or false boolean value. Means preserve white space, sorry, preserve white space, it will, from the name itself you can guess something. Preserve white space means it will, whatever white space means a space you will pass in the HTML page, it will maintain true or false, like that value. If you're passing true, then value means whatever space will be, it will be as usual. If false, it will remove. I had not used. Let's see. During starting, I had checked this one. Let's see what it doing actually. Where it maintaining the white space. I think outside. Okay, here we written preserve white space true. Now take false. Let's save. Here we can't identify. 1 second. Now check. Now make this true and save. What happened? It loaded or not?
सर
Right.
उसको कंटेंट में लिखिए तो पता चलेगा सर जैसे टीएच में लिख के एक बार देखिए ना सर टीएच में नेम डाले हैं वहाँ पे स्पेस डाल के देखिए या पैराग्राफ में से
No, it will not. I think here. I think it have to take from there itself. Okay, let it to be. Be not using these all more. But it will preserve your white spaces. I think in paragraph it will be preserved or something. But it will work with the that white space itself. Okay, so this much metadata we had seen. Some metadata we will see later also. But you can keep in mind, means these all metadata. What are the things available? So in interview you can at least tell something if they asking regarding the metadata. Clear? Now tell me who have issue and where you have the issue. Anyone who have issue? So what we had seen, one more thing regarding anywhere you can take the data, you can pass. Correct? Means now whatever value we was passing previously hard coded value. Now we are not passing the hard coded value. We are passing dynamic value. Dynamic in the sense we getting the data from the database. Database for right now we have not the database. We are using the array. That is like the data type. It means a database itself. So like that. Clear? Anyone having issue? Tell me. Let's stop.